my question was, when it was referring to light, is it indeed referring to a moment of expanded consciousness, expanded awareness, and saying basically that if you really struggle for it, you will be kind of lifted up by the sublime that you spoke about into a state of higher consciousness. So the big question is, what is light? And the little question inside it is, does it in fact refer to these moments of expanded awareness?
You already phrase a contract.
Okay.
That if I make an effort, I'll get reward.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work like this. Because
not reward, but help. And I based that
help,
on
help you will get.
Yeah.
You'll get help, but you see, this is why, first, because as the 7th of Adar speaks about the birth of Moses and the demise of Moses. And so it speaks about what is the point of Moses in us. It's that kind of an identity that we need to sort of sort out first. The question first is, does Torah give us example that we cannot achieve or we cannot attain? Okay. And I would like to go to the complication and contradiction of the identity of Moses in himself. Moses is an Hebrew educated and influenced deeply by Egypt, fleeing to try to sort of build up a new genealogy for Israel in Midian. So actually, he's the most conflicted person in identity, with his identities. So it seems that if we come to Adar in the moment of his birth and the moment of his demise, there's the whole process of actually sorting out the identity of Israel. Okay. From beginning of, one can say, the contradiction that I find in my people, in my group, in myself, in reality. So I'm fleeing away from it. And then everything, or at least the higher edict, is bringing me back, not only to be part of my people, but to lead them into their actualization, or their ability to actualize their purpose or their fate. So we're speaking about Purim, we speak about fate. Because it has to do with the two forces even that are playing in Yom Kippurim. I know I'm putting many things in the pot. It's going to be a very tasty soup, but bear with it, okay? Okay. So now it's to do with Yom Kippurim. This is why we emphasize, at least in our talk, that we don't say Yom Kippur, but Yom Kippurim, because it is almost like Purim. Almost like, because Purim and Hanukkah are the only holidays that will be after in the world to come, because they were established by the consciousness of humanity, or the consciousness of Israel. Okay, it's an act of choice by the Creator, and therefore it's an act of choice. They chose, and we're still choosing infinity, and therefore this is the part of the Creator that can enter infinity because it chose it, not because it was put upon it like the other Rosh Hashanah or Sukkot, yes, Pesach and Shavuot. It's the, one can say, it's the legs, it's what humanity would stand on, its choice. So when you're asking about, actually, if we make an effort to, do we get a moment of being able to see? The moment of being able to see, it's a result of a lifetime work, an effort. So actually, what is that we are getting from a life of effort? Faith. The ability to actually employ faith as a way of life and a way of treating contradictions. And that will give us sometimes a moment of clarity, yes, of, I think of proportion, of clarity and weightlessness, the sense of clarity and weightlessness, because we will be free in moments from that part of Seir Lazazel. It seems that we again and again choosing the part that is falling and breaking its bones upon reality. So maybe once in a while we get to choose to be part of God, and there is a sensation of that. I tell you why I'm cautious using the terms that you used, because it's too close to Buddhism. It's too close to the description of that I think we lost as Israel, and because we feel that we lost it, we adopted the language and sensation and experience of something much, lesser. Because we're building a temple, or the people who are building the tabernacle are building an alien environment inside our world. And the experience that they yearn for is the experience of the revelation, the experience of knowing the judgment of the spirits, not a personal illumination. It's too little. For the whole world, it's too little. If actually someone takes seriously, anyone who enters the work and wish to do this work, building this tabernacle, he need to consider to a lifetime of saying no to many temptation and rewards of spirituality as we know them. So it's almost as though, even as a group, the knowing is always secret. It's a secret nod between the group of knowing why they do what they do, without being able to speak about it, without being able to actually make it public or a promise, but they know. It's the secret handshake. Okay.